The Big Show starts now.
You bet it does. Welcome into Tuesday's edition of The Big Show on your total sports station, KTGR. It's Andy Humphrey here. No Brendan. It's Gabby back. Gabby
Hey,
on the Sports Wire. Hey, absolutely. Once again, sitting in for Brendan today on The Big Show. How are you? How's your Tuesday been?
Hey, ask me in like a few hours when I know who the Grizzlies have drafted.
Sweating that out, I'm sure.
I'm just
you never know.
Like, hey, it could be one of like three dudes, so we'll see.
Very much intriguing when it comes to the NBA draft tonight. Maybe talk a little bit about that. There was big NBA news late last night.
Yeah, the entire Miami Heat team for Giannis.
Let's see how that works out for him. That'll be coming up later on in the show. We'll discuss that. We're going to discuss what they mentioned in the National Sports Center as well. No NFL supplemental draft.
We talked about all of that for nothing.
So anyway, Brendan Sorsby, what's your plan now, buddy? We're going to talk about that here in a few minutes. We're going to talk with Brendan, who will join us from Busch Stadium once again, talk some Cardinals. He's got some Brendan Sorsby thoughts as well. NCAA is implementing 5 and 5, it seems, getting closer to that. That's going to go swimmingly, right? Nothing rocky about that transition at all.
No loopholes. None whatsoever.
Very straightforward and easy for everyone to understand, and it won't result in any lawsuits, right? We'll see. 5:25, we'll discuss that. And the injury expert, Will Carroll, joins us at 4:25 to talk some baseball injuries. A lot to get to. Let's get started.
Now, the Big Show's Big Deal.
So the NFL said to Brendan Sorsby, kick rocks. Like, seriously. The fact that he gets denied a petition to be in the NFL through the supplemental draft. Yes, he submitted his paperwork in the deadline, but there was a letter written by an NFL executive, pretty lengthy one, that laid out, look, buddy, you only submitted it 3 days before the deadline, and you've got a very interesting case that you have not necessarily given us the documentation that can give us the proper protocol to evaluate your future as an NFL player, and you're the only guy, so guess what? We'd already planned to not do an NFL supplemental draft, and that's still our plan. So Brendan Sorsby, after he dropped his fight with the NCAA, now he's losing the fight with the NFL a week later. That's the Big Show's Big Deal on this 23rd day of June 2026, 875 KTGR. This is all so stupid. Like,
I've gotten some rejection letters. I've gotten some rejection letters in my day, but I think that may be one of the funniest ones I've ever read in my life. Just listing all of the things wrong with him before saying, hey, you're really talented. Focus on next year. And I'm like, brutal.
We really liked you. Your
interview was really good, but we just chose to go the other direction. And
it's this whole, thing about the gambling. Well, what was that about? We didn't really get a whole lot of info on that.
You didn't give us all your paperwork.
Right.
Your CV was missing the thousands and thousands of bets on your own team.
This whole NCAA investigation, you didn't just staple that to your petition on the back or anything like that.
I think my guy needs to get new legal representation because as of right now, it just seems like this lawyer just wants to keep his name in the headlines at the cost of this kid's well-being. Because I'm like, at this point, go for the league, the other football, spring football, go to Canada, do something else.
Probably the best shot at this point.
Stop burning all of these bridges because that's what all of this continued legal threats is going to do. And they're like, we're going to bring this up with the NFLPA. And I'm like, there's no way they want to bother with this. They have more important stuff, like how much money all of these other dudes like Kyle Pitts are going to get.
You made $54 million for Kyle Pitts, Gabby. That's money well spent.
If you had asked me when I was doing my fantasy football draft, 4 or 5 years ago, I may have said something different, but
would have been great investment there for the Falcons.
Yeah.
But hey, on the week where they're having tight end university and everything like that, it's good news for a tight end like Kyle Pitts.
Oh, it is tight end university.
Going, it is. Yeah.
Travis gets to take a break from all that wedding planning that he's totally involved in. And,
you know what that is, by the way? Are we sure when we know when
it's like somewhere in New York? Apparently, Blake Lively isn't invited according to my Facebook algorithm, and I'm like, oh wow, why is this on my feed? Where are the Devontae Smith wedding photos that I'd rather be looking at?
That's a lot better to be involved in. We should have maybe known. Maybe we're just naive, and in a sense, that Brendan Sorsby's representation is a little naive. But maybe we should have foreseen a little bit of, okay, if the NCAA is going to be a roadblock to you, what makes us think that the NFL is going to be easier to ease yourself into?
Yeah, right? I don't know why I didn't think about the option that the NFL would just say nah.
Right.
It makes their lives easier because they don't have to bother with all the, I'm sure, bureaucratic nonsense that goes into holding a supplemental draft for one dude. I didn't realize that no one else was in it either.
They don't have to have a supplemental draft. That was laid out in the letter too. And then, Jeffrey Kessler, Sorsby's attorney, is saying this is a violation of the CBA. Buddy, we know that you're just trying to keep pumping up those billable hours.
If this was if this was really a violation, then someone would have made that lawsuit already.
Years
this
ago.
Decade, the previous decade. It's nonsense. It's silliness, and I do wonder who is like the devil whispering in Brendan Sorsby's ear, telling him keep your representation, because this isn't helping him at all with any league. I mean, at this point, I'm like, if I'm the CFL, I'm just like,
Right. You're just you are definitely looking with a skeptic eye. And even the longer this plays out, the longer Brendan Sorsby tries to catch on to a league where he's just trying to play football. And I get it, like you want to play football, but maybe at some point, if in fact your addiction for gambling is as serious as it was, to the point where you were fighting to keep NCAA eligibility because it was just overpowering you so much when you were at Indiana and when you were at Cincinnati, then maybe just focus on that, just like,
get a LinkedIn,
right?
Do something.
Have a job that we all try to get. Usually when college athletes are told get a job, they usually don't just waltz their way into the NFL. A lot of the time, it's usually reserved. That saying is usually reserved for the players that maybe are not getting those NFL evaluations. Now, Sorsby is a very unique and interesting case to that. I don't know.
But it's even like,
he'll probably play there. Yeah. Team will think, oh, what an opportunity. Let's get him on the team.
It's just crazy that the maelstrom of word salad that is coming from his representation about this, because you're just begging people to point out the fact that, if he was really going to be worth a supplemental draft, he probably would have played more in college anyway. And now, now you're forcing everyone to point out the fact that, you maybe would have been a second or third rounder, and that's if everyone was right about you at the beginning of this season. And we all know how bad we as a collective subconscious humanity are, how bad we are at evaluating quarterbacks in the college level at the beginning of the season. He could have been a Nussmeier.
Yeah.
There's no guarantees here. So this is a mess. And I'm looking forward to the day that either his lawyer gives up and decides he's bled this poor kid dry enough, or someone in Brendan Sorsby's life tells him, fire your lawyer.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
it's ridiculous. I mean, at this point, his lawyer's going to sue us for defamation, like just to get another local headline going. Like,
right,
it's
just
ridiculous.
Again, drill up those billable hours. Like, oh, this guy's got some money still from Texas Tech. I know I can still get some run out of this kid and continue to fight the NFL, who I've made a sworn enemy before, because Kessler's fought other battles with the NFL, and I don't know if he's necessarily been successful in them. But there's just been a huge, like, at some point I would hope that if there was any type of relationship that brewed with Joey McGuire and Brendan Sorsby in the brief time that he was at Texas Tech, and probably still is, that he just gets in the ear and is like, buddy,
chill.
Look, we were standing by you. We were trying to get you to play. It was in an effort not only to help our football team, but maybe also to help you. But now that the NFL shut the door, like, just work on stuff. Like, don't drop this guy. Don't worry about sitting in courtrooms or doing all that. First of all, focus on your recovery and every step of the way that you have to take in order to get there. And then just keeping your body fit. Like, it may not be the worst thing in the world to where you spend your time away from a team and you just work on yourself, and then maybe you get a chance to go to the NFL Combine or get in front of scouts in some way, shape, or form, hold a pro day like you were going to do anyway with this supplemental draft. Just push it back later and, have some time to yourself so that you can then mentally be ready for this, because mentally it will be just as tough for you to break in to an NFL team as it is physically.
Yeah. And this is like, we also have to remember that playing in the NFL and playing sports professionally is a privilege. It's not a right.
Yeah.
So taking it to court would just be so, like, there's better things for us to focus on and for the courts to be focused on. And, it is unfortunate that a mistake like that can cost you the chance at an NFL career, but that's how it goes. The chance to make millions of dollars playing a sport is not something that you can just get after, right. And look, I understand there's a lot of people who've done things a lot worse than placing many, many bets that are still playing professional football. That's a different conversation. It doesn't mean that, because someone worse is still playing football, you automatically qualify.
Right.
Unfortunately, you got caught, and that's just how it is. And you openly said, I have an addiction. And, there are so many other things that you should probably put on your priority list before, playing NFL football, which, again, what makes them think that being on an NFL team right now is going to help that addiction? We've seen other professional players try to do this stuff too.
Yeah.
And, it's like in the NFL, the coaches aren't really incentivized to invest in you at the same personal level, because they are operating under the assumption that you're an adult. The dynamic is different. They can't necessarily hold your hand through this recovery process in the same way. Like, they'll give you resources and stuff. Like, obviously these teams have a lot of resources at their disposal to help with stuff like this, but it's not the same as the dynamic between a player and a college coach, so he won't have necessarily that help.
It's transactional for the most part. Now, look, the best NFL coaches can still do both. Like, they can have it be all about the business and about performance, and can't get too close to situations because you would have to cut players, things like that. But you also have a general manager that handles a lot of that stuff too. As a coach, you still have a vested interest in getting the most out of a player. So relationships do matter when it comes to that. But you have to be more cutthroat. It's the NFL, for Christ's sakes. Like, it's just like, you've got to have a level of maturity to be able to handle that part of it. And I'm not saying that Brendan Sorsby doesn't have that or will never have that. But again, Gabby, I think we're on the same page. We're kind of looking at the lawyer team and saying, like, look, if you were trying to make it the absolute best case scenario for your client and say, like, okay, let's put him in as good of a spot as we can why would you bother even going up against the NCAA in the first place? Like this was, it should have always come to this conclusion that you can't play in that sport anymore or in that organization. And so if the sense that you're getting denied a chance at the NFL supplemental draft because you didn't get the paperwork in time, or there was too much paperwork and there wasn't enough time for the league to review it and check you out and say, all right, we know there's a lot here. We know that you've had some screw ups in the past, but you're working on it. And then we see every point of the investigation. Okay, let's see if NFL teams want to do it. But here the NFL was kind of stepping in and saving their teams from themselves a little bit of like, because look, there were teams that were interested in Brendan Sorsby from the way that it was being reported. Like if I were an NFL team, I'd at least take a flyer and say like how I would have my limits as to how much of a pick I would want to spend. But the NFL basically said, this is way too stupid. Like we don't want to deal with this. We don't want
to deal with this. I don't feel like it.
You've got to have a real compelling case in order for us to get off our couches and have a supplemental draft.
There's not enough things to focus on. You know, they got to focus on how they're going to get rid of the tush push. They can't think about how they're going to get rid of Brendan Sorsby.
Yeah. Or not seed teams correctly in the playoffs or things like that, according to record. We need to focus on that too. It is kind of ridiculous from that end of it. Like the NFL does it in a way. They can do their homework, but maybe this was their own way of saying, we don't wanna.
They were like, you know, it's like having to do research for your least favorite course in school. And it's just like, look, would I do this if it was something I really cared about? Yes. Mm-hmm. But really for this elective that's not really related to my major, I don't know.
Brendan Sorsby is going to even be a starter this year.
And that's the other thing. Like if he was like already a Heisman candidate, maybe more people would be going to bat. But it's like for this level of talent at this point in time,
you were the best transfer quarterback. You were I guess the best quarterback that transferred this year. And
Mizzou's gotten really good, exciting transfer quarterbacks, and then
right, yeah. It's now hopefully not this year. Maybe Austin Simmons, go get him, man. That'll be good. But yeah, it's not a guarantee that Brendan Sorsby was going to step into Texas Tech and light it up and be a first round pick. Like he's that type of talent. If he had entered the draft this past year, I would have been like the fact that it was a lighter draft, and so maybe he would have been a first round pick. But yeah, that probably should have happened. But instead, a lawyer got in his ear and said, "I can get you $5 million if you just get in the portal.
If you just pay me $10 million.
Pay me, yeah. I get 20% of that, or whatever it is. It's
I like this lawyer ASMR we got going on here.
Right? Yeah. That's a problem. And look, it's not fair to put it all on the lawyer team. Part of it is still Sorsby trying to put the fight out there, but we gotta think, with the way that this is played out, adults bickering about who should have the power in college sports, and it wrapped up in it as a guy that has a past of screwing up mightily. If you take him at his word that he's trying to work on being better, then great. We'll take him on his word for that for the moment. But man, that does require some looking inward and working on yourself. Maybe that means not being with an NFL team. Just me.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. But. Oh man. I looked up some coverage of this, and I just saw that his agent, who should probably be upset about this too, says that Sorsby has more than $1 million in attorney fees, in addition to losing NIL deals and a deal with Adidas. This sucks.
Yeah,
stop doing this to this kid. Oh my gosh.
He's just gotta step back.
Yeah.
Get a job, obviously. Like you gotta pay for that somehow. But yeah, the fact that I do think he'll end up with the CFL. CFL will be fine with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that they'll be fine with it, but they'll see an opportunity.
They have employed worse situations. And if he gets the help he needs and manages to, stay on the straight and narrow up there, then maybe he can come back and normal draft.
Johnny Manziel can stick in the CFL for a little bit.
Memphis legend.
That's right.
I'm glad I put his name back in your subconscious.
We mentioned him last week. Johnny Manziel too. We've hit all the same spots.
Oh, Texas football. You can't miss it.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Yeah, my high school played in a stadium that could double as a small college stadium. Mine
did not. Mine was a Catholic school in Memphis. We produced maybe one football player worthy of the NFL every decade.
There you go.
Yeah.
875 KTGR. Give us a call or text your thoughts on Brendan Sorsby. The NFL said, no, we're not going to hold the supplemental draft for you, even though you got in your paperwork at the deadline. There's a little too much.
Before the deadline. Like the people who come in 5 minutes before closing time at a restaurant, all the waiters are like, oh,
again, another?
I technically have to allow you to come in here, but come on, man.
Closing up. Come on. Wait till next shift. Brendan Sorsby.
Wait till next shift.
875-5847. Call or text us. You can also leave a comment on YouTube and on Facebook where we're live right now. Up next, the injury expert Will Carroll joins us to give his take on the Bobby Witt Jr. injury. He is still not in the lineup tonight. We'll discuss that, some more injuries across Major League Baseball, and we'll get his take on Brendan Sorsby as well on The Big Show.
Breaking down the Tigers, Cardinals, Chiefs, and more like no one else. The Big Show continues next on KTGR.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Kudos to Texas Tech for standing by Brendan Sorsby, but they're not going to try to claw back any of the NIL money that they've already paid him out. If he gets taken high in the supplemental draft, then did he really serve any punishment? And if not, what's to keep the next student athlete from gambling on a game that they could potentially be involved in?
Catch Unsportsmanlike with Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9 on KTGR and the KTGR app.
My name is Cornell Dillard. For many years, I was stubborn from getting a hearing aid because of the stereotype. I went to hearing aid consultant because they're not trying to move a product. They want to work with you to make sure that you can benefit from their services. And I must say I was not disappointed. And I regretted all the years I let my pride interfere with my ability to hear what I'm hearing today.
Hearing Aid Consultants and Allmaker Repair Lab. We are here for you today so you can hear tomorrow. Online at hearingaidconsultants.com.
We got involved with TrueSun a little while back because we actually had another contractor come out and build our deck for us. We come to find out later it had a lot of problems. So when TrueSun initially came out, they took their time. They walked around, they looked at things, they asked questions. They even had an engineer on the phone with them to ask questions about engineering things.
They didn't seem like typical, I'm just going to come in and do my work and not talk to you kind of guys. They were super friendly, super fun. We engaged with them every morning that they were there. By the time we got home, they were gone. Everything was cleaned up.
Yeah, so now it's done. We're super happy. We're looking forward to having guests out and having fun out there.
I would definitely recommend TrueSun to anyone who asked. We've had a great experience with them. They were professional. They were fun. They were friendly. They got the job done very quickly.
It's been just a really, really great experience.
The difference between a house and a home is the attention to detail. At TrueSun Exteriors and Interiors, we'll turn your vision of a dream home into a reality. For more information or a free estimate, go to TrueSunExteriors.com.
TrueSunExteriors.com. My name is Taylor, and I have had insurance with Phyllis Nichols and her team for over 9 years. One of our early claims we had to make, unfortunately, was from a hailstorm. And as soon as that first hail hit our house, I texted Phyllis and I said, oh boy, we're in trouble. Phyllis walked us through everything, made everything very seamless. Phyllis made it so easy. Her team followed up, checked in, and really went to bat for us. When things weren't moving properly, she would make sure that everything was accounted for, and she really just did an above and beyond job for us and everyone we referred her to.
From elegant weddings to corporate lunches with flavor and flair, Courtyard by Marriott Columbia brings the party and the pros. It's the home of Main Event Catering, and with every event, you'll get an award-winning chef, full banquet staff, and drop-and-go options for any size crowd. And the event center holds up to 300 guests with 8 flexible rooms. If you need help, there's a Marriott certified wedding coordinator on staff too. Book now by calling 573-443-8000.
It was 9 a.m. on a Monday when the phone rang. Brian Ware Plumbing and Restoration answered the call. It was a homeowner with a sewer line issue and a backyard he adored. But Brian's team does non-invasive sewer repair using state-of-the-art tech, including UV light curing resin. Suddenly, it's not a plumbing job. It's CSI Boone County. Sunglasses and David Caruso not included. Better call Brian and unplug your plumbing problems. BrianWarePlumbing.com.
We could have a drone to fly a shopmidmo.com banner around town. It looked super cool until it ran out of battery mid-flight and smashed into someone's siding. And that neighbor still won't talk to us. So yeah, on second thought, we'll just stick to what we always do. Shopmidmo.com just gives you real savings on local restaurants, health and fitness, and the best entertainment in mid-Missouri. No chaos, no gimmicks, just great local deals at
shopmidmo.com. Shopmidmo.com.
America is 250 years old. Show your patriotism with a commemorative America 250 KTGR t-shirt. Check out the design and order yours now at ktgr.com. Thanks to Steve's Pest Control. They can't shoot it straight on the golf course, but they can shoot straight on the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. Back to Andy and Brendan on The Big Show on KTGR.
We're back here on The Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Andy Humphrey here. We're getting set for more baseball today. And when it comes to the Royals, well, they say they're still taking it day by day when it comes to Bobby Witt Jr. and his knee sprain. Here to talk about all things injuries in baseball and more, the injury expert Will Carroll on the KTGR hotline joining us now. You can find him with his newsletter, undertheknife.substack.com, as well as his podcast, Injury Territory, wherever you get your podcasts. Will, it was a grade 1 MCL sprain for Bobby Witt over the weekend, and he has not been back in the lineup since. He's once again out today. What do you kind of make of this as the Royals try to manage their superstars issue?
Well, this is one of those where he's just got to be both functional and comfortable. With a grade 1 MCL, he's probably stable. So, you know, if you watched him walking around, he's not limping, he's not probably on crutches. But when he's going to try to accelerate, when he's going to cut and push off to make one of those great plays, or like that sliding play where he happened to injure himself, which he's done a million times, is just, you know, a quirk, catch a cleat, see what happens. It is reasonable that he's not going to need the IL. And if you can save 5-6 games of Bobby Witt, great. Can you play a man down for 5-6 games? You can. It's not ideal, but certainly the value of a superstar like Witt is worth at least trying it if you've got confidence. And again, great medical staff. I'm sure they have a really good read on this. Witt's telling them what they need to hear, hopefully. So I do think we'll see him back and functional and back to being Bobby Witt Jr. again here real soon.
Certainly you hope so. I do wonder, you know, down the line with Witt, and if he comes back and looks exactly the same, it's maybe an easier conversation. But as we get to, you know, we're almost to the halfway point. The All-Star break is coming up soon. He's very clearly going to be voted as the starting shortstop. Does this come into play for that at all, you think, considering, you know, when he does in fact come back for the Royals and how much time he would be able to play before that All-Star break comes around?
It might be one where, he, you know, I think this will be his choice. I think the Royals will say, hey, you know, if you want to take the time off and not go, you still get your bonus, which is really what they care about. It's not like he's going to play 9 innings. I don't think he's going to be in any of the crazy Netflix festivities, the whatever rule they change this year for the home run derby. But would it stun me if he sat it out? No. But, again, these guys are playing 1 or 2 innings in most situations, so I don't think it's that big a risk.
Will Carroll, the injury expert here on the Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. The Royals' other infield all-star from last year, Maikel Garcia, is probably not going to be in that mix this year based on the numbers, but he's also on the IL now as they placed him on there today with a hand injury. What's the issue you see here with Maikel Garcia, Will?
Grip. It's as simple as that. And it comes down to, he re-aggravated a strain. He sat out a couple games or last week, came back, played a couple games, and then something popped again. And you have to think about a couple things here. I mean, grip strength is one thing, but grip control is something we don't often think of. And if you just take a look at your hand and how you would grip a bat or grip a baseball or use it in a glove, think about there's just not a lot of muscle in there. Most of them are small and very fine. So it's fairly easy if you overstress them to tear them. And just like the wrist, there's not the greatest blood flow there. We've all cut our hand. We know we don't bleed out like if you've ever cut the top of your head where you look like a WWE wrestler. It's one of those situations where it's going to affect the grip strength, obviously, but it's that grip control that's tougher to come back because there's now an imbalance for a small muscle for a change and for both throwing the baseball and gripping a bat. That's just tough. So I don't think this is going to be a minimum stay, even though they're saying it's a fairly minor strain.
We'll see on Maikel Garcia if he can get back to full strength sooner rather than later. Around the league, Will, another big injury we saw last week involving Mike Trout, hamstring strain. He's on the IL now with the Angels, having once again great numbers as you would expect, but just this latest setback he's had. I mean, how do you kind of characterize it then?
Trout is down. He's having a better year, but he's hitting like 235. He's hitting home runs, but not a ton. I actually looked at this and wrote about it in Under the Knife on Monday. He's got 421 career home runs. And if you take a look at how much time he's missed since turning 28, and he's age 34 this season, it's one of those things where it's such a clear decline, and it matches Ken Griffey Jr. so much that it's painful just to look at the numbers. So the hamstring injury is one thing. The hope has to be that this isn't just another one of those things in a series of things. He just doesn't seem to heal well. He's just a slow healer. He does everything so well. God didn't give him every single gift, I guess. It's one of those things where you hope he comes back. You hope this is a simple hamstring like the Angels are saying it is, and you hope he keeps going. But, at 421 home runs, and given the pace he's at, he's not a deadlock for 500. And we used to talk about him as a 600, 700 guy. He's not going to make those. 500, probably. It's still like a 75 to 80% chance, but it's crazy that it's that low.
Certainly, and I would not have guessed that he was even at 421 at the moment, considering how much he has been out in so much of his prime. You'd think, man, awesome hitter, but I wouldn't have thought that the counting stats even would have been to that degree, even for a guy like him.
Wow, he was that good for so long and got up so quick and was immediately that good. And that's why it's so hard to think of him in the now as a 230 sluggy guy who's basically a bad version of Kyle Schwarber.
Man, I sure hope that at some point he can try to climb closer towards that number, but we shall see. The injury expert Will Carroll here on the Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Shohei Ohtani dealing with some knee issues as he was kind of taking time off for paternity leave, so congrats to him on that. But as he came back to the Dodgers, how do you kind of see them managing his workload throughout this season?
Quite closely. Something's going on with his knee. And there was this whole internet conspiracy theory, and some guy on TikTok had a video that had like a gazillion views, and everybody was asking about it. And they're like, oh, what is a bipartite patella. And I was like, the thing they fixed 3 years ago, longer than that now, he had surgery when he was with the Angels to fix what's called a bipartite patella. Which is basically his patella. Babies have two-piece patellas, and they fuse as you grow. I don't know why that is. It's just babies. They're weird. So Ohtani had that fixed a couple of years ago. It didn't unfix himself. I'm fairly certain it's a meniscus tear. I'm a little surprised they aren't going in to get it. But, with the pitching, they're just managing his workload. You've seen him give him off days. He took a couple off days. And I'm told the paternity thing's obviously real. He did have a kid, or his wife did. He was involved. But they were very happy to have him take a couple days off. And they were actually, perfectly willing to skip a turn in the rotation, which he didn't want. So it's a little bit of a fight to keep him off the field. He wants to do everything all the time because he can, and he's going to put up crazy numbers, and he could be the MVP and the Cy Young. It's just crazy what he does, but he's got to be healthy. So this is going to be a management thing. You're going to see more off days. And I do think that's going to make a better Shohei Ohtani. Even if we only get 140 games of him, I think his numbers this season are going to end up just ridiculous.
Will Carroll, the injury expert here on the Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Usually, Will, we spend this time exclusively talking about player injuries, but a little different today. There's a manager injury that we have to talk about. Pat Murphy of the Milwaukee Brewers, back surgery, I guess. What's the latest on him?
Yeah, he's going to have two surgeries, and one of them is going to be over the All-Star break, and one of them is just going to be an outpatient procedure, so he's going to do that on an off day. They aren't saying exactly what it is, but I will say, do the finger quotes here for me, Andy.
Okay,
I'm very close to Murphy, said he read under the knife and wasn't very happy that I got it. So what he's going to have is basically a scope to clean up the labrum of his hip. That's been a problem. And adjusting for that has caused a problem in his back. It's just a minor disc herniation. So they're going to go in there. There's a couple procedures they could do. They could just cut it out. They could ablate it, which means they basically heat it up like an egg and take a little piece off. So there's a number of things they're going to do. But it, too, is an outpatient procedure. So he's just going to get a chair. He's not going to miss any time. Yeah. I don't think he's going to be walking out to the pitcher's mound anytime soon. But you got to think these guys, especially ex-players like Murph, they're going through a lot. He's not a young guy, and he's going to be fighting through. So got to do a little bit of workload management on the manager.
For sure. I mean, of course, these days, managers, they don't have to go out and argue calls anymore because we have ABS now. It's like they don't even need to do that. It's just really going out to the mound. That's it, I would think. But, I hope Pat Murphy gets that procedure done well. And
it does give me one of my favorite things when the pitching coach for the Brewers, Chris Hook, goes out. I just love seeing a guy with Hook on the back of his jersey pulling the pitcher.
Here comes the Hook.
Yeah, exactly. He should do it all the time.
That's perfect, man. Will Carroll, the injury expert here on the Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. A football note, Will. Brendan Sorsby denied by the NFL essentially for now. No supplemental draft and his avenue to keep playing football for at least this calendar year now looks a little bleak. So for a guy like him that is at least trying to stay in shape or trying to play in some way, shape, or form, you'd have to think. I don't know how at this point, but what then does that do for him in 2027 as he tries to prepare for that, presumably?
Well, the thought was that he was going to be, a top pick. The NFL's note was a little harsh. He has gone to therapy. We'll see. It's a little bit off that he's missed the UFL season. Isn't that exactly what that thing's supposed to be for? He could go to the CFL. We'll see whether or not that's one route. I think it's more interesting that he might just, work out for a year. Can he get better away from the team? Can he just get himself in the best physical shape, watch a lot of film, watch games, watch other quarterbacks? watch the NFL season, not have to do all the things, and basically do that sort of prep. We see a lot of guys stepping away from their teams and saying, you know what, I'm not going to play the Weed Eater Bowl or whatever crazy thing. He's basically doing the same thing, just longer. And if he's got the right people around him, then so be it. There were teams that were looking at him, so I don't think it'll hurt him next year. The thing I'm going to be curious about is, would he be a number one pick or value next year? He's going to be something of a reverse auction where people are going to wait and see. He's definitely not going to be in the green room on day one, but who's going to get that kind of value? And if so, is he going to be able to sue the NFL for blocking him for a year and hurting his value? So the real winner in all this is the lawyers, as usual.
Yeah. Seems that way. Anything involving college sports or anything adjacent even to this point. Will, what's new at Under the Knife and Injury Territory?
Tons of stuff. We've actually got a really fun show this week coming out. We always talk about arm slot, especially when we're talking about injured pitchers. How important is it? But what the heck is it? So we're going to break down exactly what arm slot is, why most of it doesn't have anything to do with the arm, and why we can now measure it with the StatCast tools. And of course, over at Under the Knife, we got all the injuries.
For sure. It's all great stuff. Go and check it out from Will Carroll, undertheknife.substack.com, to read about baseball injuries all season long. And then his podcast, Injury Territory, wherever you get your podcasts. Great to have him here on the big show, KTGR. Thanks, Will, for coming on. Hope you're well. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks a lot, Andy.
Big show's on at 4:43, KTGR and the KTGR app. So we talked to Will earlier in the afternoon, and when we talked to him, that was before we learned a couple more bits of news involving the Cardinals and Royals. First of all, Mason Wynn scratched from the lineup tonight with a thumb issue, apparently.
Ow.
So we're still waiting to learn more about that, and I don't think the Cardinals have put out an updated lineup on it yet. They have to work around a lot of things because he's a shortstop, and they don't have necessarily a bona fide backup shortstop at the moment. They might put Weatherholt there, who knows, but no Mason Wynn tonight, apparently. That's the word, at least from the Cardinals for now. We also learned from Matt Quatraro. He talked to reporters in Kansas City, and it seems that also no details really given, but it seems that Cole Reagans might be heading to elbow surgery, as Matt Quatraro seemed to indicate. So that's not going well either.
It's rough. It's rough
yeah,
out there. I say this as a Bobby Witt Jr. fantasy owner who also doesn't have a lot of depth at shortstop.
Well, yeah. That's also an issue.
Of
course.
But mostly
anyway.
Just, man.
But other than that,
I feel, the Reagans thing is very deeply concerning because the Royals are basically 50-50 injury healthy at this point, it feels like.
Well, and even for him, he's 50-50 to be a Royal, I think, even through the life of his contract. In Cole Reagans' case, if there is, in fact, elbow surgery in his future, that doesn't sound great. But we'll see what details come out from that. They said they'll get opinions from doctors and everything. But Matt Quatraro giving a not-so-great update on Cole Reagans this afternoon. 875-5847 if you want to call or text us. Under the Bus coming up to an immature player in baseball that remains immature. We'll also, maybe down the line, get to some breaking news involving the St. Louis Blues. That's coming up in this Live Local Sports Center.
Now, your local sports center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon. I'm Andy Humphrey. This Sports Center update is with Lee's Tire Company. If it's round and rubber, Lee's sells it. Lee'sTireCompany.com. That breaking news is that the Blues have traded away forward Jordan Kyrou to the Washington Capitals. In exchange, the Blues receive Connor McMichael, Milton Gastrin, along with the 16th overall pick in this year's NHL draft. Blues took Kyrou 10 years ago in the draft at number 35 overall, and in 8 NHL seasons, he has totaled 378 points for the Blues. McMichael, 25-year-old, appeared in 78 games for Washington last season, had 46 points. Gastrin is a 19-year-old drafted by the Capitals in the second round last season. He is a native of Sweden, but it appears that Jordan Kyrou's time with the Blues has come to an end as he is traded to the Washington Capitals. Cardinals take on the Diamondbacks tonight. They beat the D-backs 3-2 yesterday. Mason Wynn scratched from the lineup, but we haven't seen an updated lineup yet from the Cardinals. You can hear it on KTGR. Coverage begins at 5:50. Royals beat the Rays 2-1 yesterday. They'll play them again at 5:40 this evening. Your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast is with Shangri-La Dispensaries, with 2 locations in Columbia and 1 in Jeff City. Shangri-La Dispensaries is paradise found. ShangriLaDispensaries.com.
Looking back on some of the biggest moments in America's 250 years.
On April 19, 1775, after the loss of 8 American heroes at Lexington, British troops arrived at Concord, Massachusetts to destroy the American military supplies. The Redcoats were confronted by 400 colonists, forcing the retreat of the British Army 17 miles back to Boston. 57 Americans lost their lives in the battle, the first casualties of the war for its independence.
Freedom Facts on KTGR, thanks in part to Kuntz Glass. Learn more at ktgr.com.
The best barbecues start with the best grills. And at the American Outdoor Brands Factory Outlet in Columbia, you'll find Gorilla pellet, gas, and charcoal grills, along with outdoor kitchen options that'll make your patio everyone's favorite hangout on game day. Right now, all grills are 20% off in store, plus their scratch and dent section offers hundreds of dollars off select grills. Remember, every barbecue starts with a better grill. The American Outdoor Brands Factory Outlet is a quarter mile north of I-70 at Route C.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshields, and slick roads quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call me, Valerie Nenechuk, 573-615-4090, 615-4090.
Epic Bug Battle Raps.
Hey, yo, let's get it.
Ant versus Termite.
Turn my headphones up.
Fight.
Look, I'm an ant. You're a wood munching clown. So here's a number 2 pencil. Go ahead and write it down. See, ants, we love snacks, but you termites are whack. I'm having picnics in kitchens, just snacking on baseball bats. You never should have battled me. Couldn't help but eat the trees. What is all you'll ever need? Oh, you're trying to win this thing? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Oh, good. Jokes about wood. Never heard that. Easy on the snacks. Just take a look at your thorax. It's dragging on the floor and scraping across the grass. Oh, no, look out. It's a 3rd grade class with a magnifying glass. What's that? I think I hear your queen calling. Left, right, left, you little drone. You better fall in. Shoulda marched to a different drum, because I just took your army out one by one.
Hi, I'm Steve with Steve's Pest Control. We're going to solve your pest problem. I guarantee it.
Now you got a friend in the pest control business. Steve's Pest Control.
Window panes. You see a squirrel run across the yard. You grab the gun, head outside, take aim, and miss. Turns out a window is a lot easier to hit than a squirrel. This is Silas Kuntz from Kuntz Glass. We can fix your broken windows, patio doors, or foggy glass, but we can't fix your bad aim. As Columbia's oldest and wisest glass shop, Kuntz Glass is ready for life's little window panes. Visit us at KuntzGlass.com.
Kuntz Glass, so you can see through it. We do it.
What happens when a Cards fan, a Royals fan, and a College World Series super fan walk into a bar? They argue for about 3 minutes. Then they clink beers and order some fantastically delicious burgers and hot hand-cut fries. Billiards on Broadway has all the games on. So no matter the team, Billiards is the best spot for baseball all summer. A couple more super fans just walked into Billiards. What happens next is up to you.
Look on down for burgers and beer. Billiards on Broadway.
Call your shot at billiardsonbroadway.com.
When you have a property to redevelop or a big renovation that's coming up, you're going to need more than muscle and a couple of choice words. You'll need Wreck and Roll. They bring the dumpsters, the demo crew, and even clean up all the mess. Whatever you need, they roll in, wreck it right, and leave your site good as new. Proudly serving Jefferson City, Columbia, the Lake, and Eldon. When you have a hot mess, don't stress. To get your project rolling, follow Wreck and Roll on Facebook or go to wreckandroll.net.
Tired of calling Andy and Brendan? So are their wives. Then shoot them a text right now. 573-875-KTGR and become part of the Big Show.
Gabby in for Brendan today. I don't know if you have been here when we had an original throwing of under the bus of Jazz Chisholm, but just fair to say that this is not his debut in this segment at all.
Hey, I've been on this train for so long since his Marlins days. I'm here for it. I'm ready. I'm used to it. So
you should be at this point in this segment. And the latest edition of Jazz Chisholm being a knucklehead is that he decided to go out, play second base in the 5th inning for the Yankees in a game that they were losing.
And did lose.
And during the 5th inning, he was he had a lollipop in his mouth.
I mean,
a blow pop, to be specific.
I mean, like, you know, all the immaturity aside, that's not safe.
No, it's not. It's really not.
You know, it's all fun and games until a line drive comes right at you, and then suddenly you have a lollipop sticking through the back of your neck,
right,
or stuck in your tonsil, or something, you know, wildly violent and terrible. Like, that's just not safe.
Oh, but
not recommended.
To Jazz Chisholm.
You know? That'd be a really fun segment for Will Carroll to tackle. You know, what do you do when you have a lollipop stuck in the back of your skull?
Goes back in your, it's just, this guy needs to grow up.
You play for the Yankees. Like, I know that, like, Aaron Boone has talked about how they want him to be himself, but there's limits to being yourself in a professional environment.
Right. Himself,
you know,
acts like 20 years older than he is acting.
Well, I mean, you know, I also feel like he hasn't even earned this kind of behavior or half of this level of behavior. I mean, the Yankees are on a losing streak. Chisholm isn't, like, he's had moments, but he still isn't that guy.
He's
like,
having his worst statistical year in the big leagues.
He's not playing as well as a lot of the, you know, unrecognized guys on the Cardinals are. Like, he's not. What have you done for me lately? You know, like, what have you done to deserve a blow pop on the field?
Shouldn't have been an all-star last year either.
Nothing. No, he shouldn't have been. Thank you. I agree.
Should not have been. The fact that he went in over Michael Garcia. I know eventually Garcia got in, but like, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's this amateur. And like this offseason, like in spring training, he was apparently telling people, I think the Yankees should give me 10 years, $300 million. You are not even worth half that. Like, it's ridiculous.
Who does he think he is? Kyle Schwarber?
Kyle Schwarber is miles more valuable than you are, Jazz. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, also under the bus to Mike Babcock. He did not have a very good introductory press conference in Edmonton today. If you don't know the backstory, this is like the first time in 3 years that he's been hired as an NHL coach. His tenure with the Columbus Blue Jackets lasted like 78 days. He didn't even
very Torts-esque
there. Like, just flame out right away. There was an investigation into his time there. He allegedly asked players for personal photos to put together for what he claimed to be like a team building bonding type thing. And they're like,
ew.
Okay, that's really, really weird. And players obviously were uncomfortable with that. And so he doesn't last very long there. But today he's, asked, obviously, now that he's Edmonton's coach, the NHL cleared him to be a coach again. And he was not taking any accountability for what happened in Columbus. He's saying that he didn't think he crossed the line. Anytime you make anybody feel uncomfortable in your life, you should take a look at yourself and you should say, how could I do that to be better? And I think that's what you do as a person. The situation in Columbus, they've had a full review, and I'm thankful that the NHL and NHLPA did that. It didn't work out for us. We're excited about making it work here. Apparently his wife gave him a call and said, you know what, you should get him out. You should get out of there. That's apparently the story according to him.
He's blaming his wife. Dude.
I don't know.
Dude, you can't just You can't just be like, oh, the wife.
Right.
Oh, the old ball and chain.
Told me to get out of there. That's why I'm here in Edmonton coaching Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. That's why.
What is Edmonton doing?
I don't know, man.
This is like a Maple Leafs kind of move, but the Maple Leafs are out here doing normal, good, smart things for once.
Travis Yost on Twitter. He covers hockey for TSN. Mike Babcock's looked inward and he has concluded it's everyone else that's the problem. Right? Great start here.
I mean, it must be a nice way to like exist. We can just blame everyone else.
All right, sweetest thing. This was really sweet. Also hockey related. Keith Tkachuk, Hockey Hall of Famer, voted in yesterday, or was it today? Either way, it happened within the last 24 hours. Keith Tkachuk voted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, obviously longtime Blue, and has two sons in the league that are now on the same team. Brady Tkachuk traded to the Florida Panthers to join up with Matthew Tkachuk, and then that happens, and then Dad Keith gets voted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Pretty cool for the Tkachuk family this week.
Yeah, they just kind of, I mean, this is better than even Thanksgiving, probably. Like, I mean, I guess Thanksgiving is going to be really fun for them this year to just show up and be like, all right, folks.
You don't have to worry about bickering about not being on the same team or anything like that.
Yeah, and maybe now everyone can have a Stanley Cup.
Maybe so. We'll see if the Florida Panthers get back to that point after missing the playoffs this past year. Up next, we'll have Brendan join us from Busch Stadium. Obviously, Cardinal thoughts. Well, maybe some Blues thoughts as the Blues make a big trade. Jordan Kyrou is now a Washington Capital. We'll get Brendan joining us next here on The Big Show, KTGR.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This feeling is brought to you by Aleve for back pain relief. What feeling is that, you ask? Well, it's the feeling you feel when you have relief from back pain. That move how you want to, not how you have to feeling. That keep going through your day without slowing down feeling. The kind that brings you back to yourself all day long without interruption. Oh yeah. Because Aleve offers long-lasting pain relief. Feel up to 12 hours of back pain relief with one dose. Feel Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
It's so hard to get good wood these days. Maybe it's time to start looking at composite decks. You already know Absolute Roofing and Exteriors makes incredible decks that look great and last, but they also get the job done on time. The Absolute Roofing and Exteriors crew is the fastest around and will get the job done. They're only done when you say they're done and are absolutely satisfied with the work.
New roof, no mess. Call the absolute best. Absolute Roofing and Exteriors.
You don't just sell, you connect. You listen, learn, and deliver. You build relationships that turn clients into partners. At Fuse 32, our people don't push products. They craft solutions. They anticipate problems before they even happen, and they fix them before anyone notices. If results and relationships, not excuses, drive you, then it's about time to join the team that never settles. Fuse 32. There's nothing we can't do. Apply now at fuse32.com.
KTGR AM Columbia, KTGR FM Fulton Columbia, K286CL Columbia, in Missouri's total sports station. KTGR.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The countdown continues toward the start of the 2026 NBA Draft, 7:30 Eastern ESPN Radio, 8 Eastern ESPN and ABC. The Wizards have the top overall pick for the first time in 16 years, and they're the team with the most at stake tonight, believes ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
They have got a gigantic decision for their franchise. This is a powerful draft. There's probably MVPs going to come out across that stage in a couple of hours. The difference between getting the first pick right and getting the first pick wrong could be the difference in how this team's future and ceiling goes for the next decade.
AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson among the possibilities to go number one. Falcons and tight end Kyle Pitts agreed on a 3-year, $54 million deal. After locking up Pitts and receiver Drake London long-term, Atlanta can now turn its attention to running back Bijan Robinson. There will be no supplemental NFL draft this summer. League made that decision, which means former Texas Tech QB Brendan Sorsby, who admitted to placing thousands of bets on college and pro sports during his college career, won't play in the league in 2026. League felt he'd be a distraction to teams as they start training camp.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
From Faro,
15 to the 10, to the house.
Bush,
Back to the wall, and it's got her.
and Arrowhead.
Touchdown, Kansas City.
To your speakers.
This is the big show, baby.
Get fresh takes on the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. Right now, this is The Big Show with Andy and Brendan on KTGR.
Make that Andy and Gabby. Brendan is going to join us in a little bit from Busch Stadium as we get set for Cardinals Diamondbacks tonight. 5:50 pregame start, 6:45 first pitch on KTGR. We'll hear what the Cardinals are going to do without Mason Wynn tonight, scratch from the lineup. Also, we're going to hear from Brendan about what he thinks about that Jordan Kyrou trade that just came down the line. He'll also get his thoughts in on Brendan Sorsby. And we'll talk about the NCAA closing in on adopting the 5-5 age-based eligibility model, which I'm sure will go over just swimmingly, right? As everything else, every other rule change in the NCAA.
You know, right when I think I understand redshirting, they're like, you know what, never mind.
You don't need to anymore. You can stop worrying about that. 875-KTGR if you want to give us a call or a text, but let's get to this first because it's 5 o'clock.
It's time for the top 5 at 5 on The Big Show. Number 1.
If you want to trade away for curtain number 1, you can have curtain 1.
So Brendan Sorsby denied by the NFL. They are not going to have a supplemental draft. They cited, look, Sorsby, you're the only person that's applied, and there's this huge, long investigation that you didn't really give us any info on, and so we have to sift through that, and we only have 3 days until the deadline. So don't make us do any extra work in that little amount of time, please. Thank you. It maybe was a little bit of naive for certainly Sorsby's camp, but also us reacting to it all last week when Sorsby decided to go to try to go to the supplemental draft, that they would allow that so easily. And obviously it's not an easy process, but I think all in all, Brendan, you just got to get a different lawyer. That Jeffrey Kessler, he's not your guy.
Number 2.
Number 2, your timing is impeccable.
Jordan Kyrou's time in St. Louis is done. The Blues trade him to the Washington Capitals in exchange for a couple players and the 16th pick in the NHL draft. Obviously, Kyrou, he's a high-dollar player. There's apparently reportedly no roster, or not roster retention, but salary retention by the Blues in that he was making a lot. And so the Blues get that off the books. But they also have 4 first-round picks in this year's NHL draft. At 11, 15, 16, and 29, draft is this Friday and Saturday. Blues are going to be busy.
Number 3.
No Mason Wynn tonight for the Cardinals. He's being scratched from the lineup. They still haven't given out a new lineup yet, though, so we'll see when they do. He's apparently got a thumb injury, Mason Wynn does, so see how the Cardinals adjust to that as they face the Diamondbacks tonight, looking to make it 2 wins in a row against them. Royals manager Matt Quatrero updated on Cole Reagans today and said that there might need to be a surgical procedure in Cole Reagans' future. So that is not good news. And obviously we'll discuss more about that as the days roll along. And certainly not good for Cole Reagans and the Royals there.
Number 4.
Oh, shanked it.
NCAA's cabinet meeting, or their D1 cabinet meeting, unanimously approved an age-based eligibility model that would mean that players would get 5 years to play 5 years. Red shirts are gone. You can't play past age 24, but there's a grandfathering into this that might cause some growing pains. And people who just exhausted their eligibility, it looks like, according to the reports, that they're going to want to sue.
Number 5.
What is the 5 fingers? Say to the face.
Look, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's a great player, but all the Cristiano Ronaldo fans today are insufferable.
That's The Big Show's top 5 at 5 on KTGR.
They really are. Call or text us 875-KTGR if you want to weigh in.
you don't want to let me talk about Cristiano Ronaldo.
Are you about to unleash all of a sudden? It's just the going on that. So we're doing to run it back all of a sudden. So,
It's time to go under the bus on the
Get
big
out
show.
of the way. Gabby needs to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo.
I have been waiting for this man to be as washed as he's felt for so long. I don't care that he scored today. He's the worst. He's a bad man. He's a bad person. And finally, age is catching up to him in a way it never will for Lionel Messi. This is great.
Yeah.
I don't care that he got a goal or whatever. Oh, whoa, you scored on Uzbekistan. Whoa. Stop the presses, folks. Cristiano Ronaldo is no longer a liability to Portugal. Nah, shut up, man. He's whatever. He's the
still
whatever.
selfish, by the way. Like,
oh,
it
yeah.
Him that scored that first goal, stepped right in front of his teammate right before that cross came in.
I watched him do that. I was like, man, the audacity of a guy who's been playing a bunch of like second-rate players in the Saudi league for however many years now. Like man, we really thought he was going to make that league. Whatever. Get out of here. No, I'd rather talk about Messi. At least you feel good when you talk about him. Or
he's a much more deserving GOAT.
Or, Capo Verde or like, Curacao, literally anyone but Cristiano Ronaldo. This guy's, I don't care that he had a good game. I still think he's washed, and I've been waiting for it.
Yes.
I've been anticipating it.
It will reveal itself in due time against a real team.
Yeah.
Like DR Congo. Like
what
happened. Like what
Save
happened
us.
with that. Yes.
Save us.
Exactly. 875-KTGR if you want to give us a call or text. Good. We're talking soccer, and our soccer expert, Brendan, is on the KTGR. Just in time. Brendan, your thoughts on Cristiano Ronaldo's 2 goals today?
I don't have a lot of thoughts about that. I did ask Jose Fermin how he enjoyed the festivities in Kansas City, because I know he was there with some other Cardinals folks when they had that off day in Kansas City. They got to witness, wasn't that the 0-0 game? Nobody scored.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's soccer at its most soccer. And so he got a chance to see that. Wow. But he's a huge Messi fan. And so I said, I know that all the Messi stuff is what you're most excited about. He'd love to get to watch Messi play in person, but he's a little busy this summer, so he'll keep watching on TV. But he was kicking a ball around. I think they're doing like a giveaway at the stadium on Sunday for kids, like a soccer ball Cardinal giveaway. So that's kind of cool.
Whoa.
And maybe I'll take one of those home and practice up, just in case me and Andy go to it for PKs or something at some point. Just to be ready,
Hey,
that's got to happen.
Yeah.
At some point. But yeah, that'll be good. They have like I think a soccer themed Cardinals jersey as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
for adults.
Yeah, Sunday is the day to be at the stadium. Kids and adults are getting something, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that'll be good. Free stuff is always good at Busch Stadium. Brendan joining us from there as he gets set for Cardinals Diamondbacks later on, which will not feature Mason Lynn, apparently. Thumb issue. And I keep refreshing, Brendan. Do we have a new lineup for the Cardinals yet?
Keep refreshing, because I'm on the phone with you, and I don't know if Twitter is going to work. I called in instead of showing my smiling face because I'm trying to multitask. But it was kind of funny. We talked in Ollie Marmol's office for like 15 minutes with some really good stuff that I'm going to go transcribe about the starting pitching conversation. He made a comment last night after Andre Palante pitched really well 6 innings of 1-run baseball in that win, where he said, this is a reminder about the value of giving opportunity and how Palante at times last year or two, he said there were nights in this very room where people were going, hey, is this the last start for Palante? Like, are we done with this? And now Palante, 6 of his last 7, he's allowed 2 or fewer runs. And in a way, he's kind of been like the stopper in the rotation. Like they were hurting a little bit going into yesterday from a pitching perspective. And he pitched really well. The bullpen got it done. And so just kind of thinking about the growth of Palante and the fact that if they hadn't really extended this leash to him, like this opportunity in a kind of year of building, that maybe they don't get the results they're getting from Palante. And I think Ollie wants to send that message a little bit to fans who are kind of looking at the standings and going, do we have to shift? Do we have to start taking shortcuts? He said Chaim Bloom is very thoughtful in the way that he speaks and when he speaks and what he says, and that if he says we're not taking shortcuts, you should believe him. So I think that says something about not only Leahy, but Liberatore and how the Cardinals plan to approach those two pitchers. But that was like a really good, extensive conversation with the Cardinal manager that I'll be excited to write about and share more about as I get some time. But at the very end of it, I kind of asked him, I said, hey, your lineup, that'll be kind of fun tonight, because they had Jose Fermin batting fifth, playing third base, and Newbar was down at 7. It really seemed like, guys, they were going to attack this lefty starter, but they had the lineup set up in a way that would allow for some interesting late game stuff. Like Burleson was going to be out of the lineup, and maybe you use him as a pinch hitter, and Nathan Church can come in for defense, and you get Velasquez off his feet later.
Sorry to
that's happening.
Yeah,
you have it.
So the lineup is out. It looks like. It looks like Burleson will be playing tonight. He's batting 7th. He's playing. He's at first base. They were going to put Blaze Jordan at first base tonight, but he's going to shift over to third, and it'll be Fermin at second and Weatherholt at shortstop. It also looks like Nelson Velasquez dropped a little bit in the lineup. He's now 5th. He was going to be 3rd. I don't see.
Newbar's coming up.
Newbar comes up to clean up, and Burleson's in the 7th spot because they want to maybe protect him a little bit against the lefty. But that's the shifting around that the Cardinals are doing. So it seems that the Cardinals did want to be careful with JJ Weatherholt playing too much shortstop, but it turns out, at least we have someone that can play it, and he's the guy.
Yeah, that was really a one-day thing. Remember, the game that Fermin started at shortstop, JJ was just back into the lineup that day, having dealt with a groin issue and missing a few games for that. So after that, I think you can expect moving forward that Weatherholt would be the first kind of line of defense after Mason Wynn. And it's a left thumb irritation that Ollie mentioned for Wynn, and is the reason behind him being scratched. Severity, how it happened, not really sure yet. Ideally, if you're framing it as irritation, Andy, I don't know in the lexicon where that lands on the discomfort meter. But, irritation is what we've got.
I'm gonna say it's not as bad as discomfort. Discomfort can be season ending, I tell you. They just never know.
If it's irritation and that's less severe than maybe just another question with Wynn where it's a day or two and we'll see. But you're certainly hoping for that to be the limit to it. I would say, though, they're comfortable with J.J. Weatherholt playing shortstop. And it honestly, if there is a little period where Wynn is out, you would have that flexibility of all the different guys that can play second. Like Brian Torres can slide into a second base spot if you're facing the right-handedness. If you're Fermin, you can play there against lefties. So they have guys that can backfill. But obviously Mason Wynn, extremely valuable to what they do defensively. So they're hoping for hopefully just a short absence for him. But we'll get more information, I'm sure, as the night goes along.
Yeah, Brendan joining us from Busch Stadium. Mason Wynn out of the lineup tonight as the Cardinals shuffle things around slightly on the infield to make that happen there. So who would, if they are up by 3 or fewer in the 9th inning, who are you giving the ball to tonight?
It's funny because I probably should have asked the manager that, but we get so enamored.
Come on.
Got to keep the suspense going.
The conversation was so good. It was gripping conversation about Kyle Leahy and Liberatore. Ollie threatened to get his laptop out. He did get his laptop out, but he didn't show me what was on it.
Sure.
I would have really loved that.
Yeah.
Sometimes he does that. He's like, I wish I could turn this thing around and I said, turn it around. Like, let's see what's on there.
Yeah.
But their internal information is kind of some of the stuff that he references to be able to articulate certain points he wants to make. Didn't get into the bullpen thing, but, man, the guys that pitched last night were great. Problem is, you can't expect to see any of the four of them tonight, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it four guys? Stanek, JoJo, George, and Riley.
They all are pitching. They've all pitched the last two games, and so
that's a back-to-back. So let's. Who else is on this team? I think you're going to.
Yeah, Matt Swanson is on the team. Swanson, you're closer tonight.
Matt Swanson and Max Rajic come on down. The problem is, those guys pitched, a decent amount on Sunday as well, if I'm recalling correctly. So, yeah, man, it's a fair question. It's actually a little bit fascinating that they felt they could kind of navigate this without a roster move. They did make a trade today. Chris Roycroft is on to sunnier pastures. He's a Tampa Bay Ray. How many innings, by the way, is Chris Roycroft going to pitch in the playoffs this year? I think is a fascinating question because it seems like when you go to the Rays, man, they just, I don't know, it tends to work out.
And then they only let the starter go 4 innings.
What did he have? Like a 15 ERA at one point?
Oh, yeah. It was way up.
How much fixing can they do?
Well, they loved the stuff. They really did like Roycroft's stuff here in St. Louis, but he had this unfortunate problem of every time he would get to the big leagues, he would walk the world, allow hard contact, and then sometimes he would allow soft contact that would go to him, and he would have to throw it to a base, and he couldn't really do that either. So I'm telling you, Chris Roycroft is going to be successful with Tampa Bay. Don't ask me how. They're going to unlock something, and maybe it's just a change of scenery type of deal. But no, I'm looking at Sunday's game log from that Royals-Cardinals game that finished 12-10. Rajic only recorded 4 outs. I don't know how many pitches he threw, but Swanson only recorded a couple outs, faced like 4 batters. I think that was probably done by design from Ollie to not let that be it. First of all, that it became a contested game that the Cardinals had to win, so they kept pushing buttons to try and find the right mix in the bullpen behind Dustin May's short outing. But looking at it, like, I don't know that anybody from that game should be unavailable today. Like, Graceffo can give you multiple today. Swanson, Rajic, hopefully all 3 of those guys can give you multiple. And if Justin Brule doesn't pitch in this game tonight, I don't know what to say for it.
Like, why is he on the team? Yeah.
He's done a nice job, and he's somebody, too, that in a game like today, I'm not looking at the Arizona lineup. They took a while to put one out. But if there's a lane in their lineup that features some lefties, there's not a ton. Do you want Brule facing Corbin Carroll? Maybe not, but, like, there might come a point in this game where it makes sense to do that. Now, they do have Moreno situated in between the 2 lefties in their lineup, and that's going to be a tricky at-bat for Brule. But, like, that's the league. In the 3-batter minimum era, they'll find probably a spot for Brule to give him something tonight. And then it, like, comes back to the Leahy of it all. They've got some guys that can give you multiples to be able to get through this game. The question might not be as much who do you finish with, but how do you get it there? It's guys like Graceffo and, probably Swanson would be the guy that I would have go in the, cover the 8th and the 9th. If it's a situation where it's a safe situation, he may go 2 innings. And if you can get Graceffo to go in the middle innings to get you there, find a spot for Brule. But like Matt Swanson, guys, this could be a good night for him if the Cardinals have that situation late. Because he's really been coming on strong recently, and he may be the guy that makes the most sense for this game tonight to really play a key role in a close late situation.
We'll see as the Cardinals get started with the Diamondbacks in about an hour and a half from now from Busch Stadium. Brendan joining us from there on the Big Show KTGR. Brendan, a couple more things to touch on. First off, Jordan Kyrou, not a Blue anymore. Now the Blues have all of the first round picks. They have got 4 lined up, ready to go for Friday. in the NHL draft. I guess your thoughts on the fact that Jordan Kyrou's time in St. Louis has come to an end.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I asked a buddy who's a big Blues fan, and he seemed excited about the return. I haven't had a chance to really dig into it yet, but they're obviously stockpiling resources and young players, picks, those sorts of things. You don't think Kyrou was going to work in St. Louis as like the fixture, as the main go-to? It's one of those where like you can score a lot of goals, but is he the complete player that in the locker room, on the ice in terms of the other things they need him to do, playing a complete game, or is he just like a video game stat guy that's going to rack up goals but maybe not help you win? Their determination was his value was such that he teetered in the direction of maybe being more valuable to them as a trade chip than as a player to build around. So it changes the look of the team for sure, but I think it probably won't be the last change we see. And felt like a long time coming. I mean, how many years have we been going, are they going to trade Kyrou?
Right.
Now they finally do.
Yeah, and it was even, before when he was a young star, but something of the mind of, well, are you going to give another big contract to somebody? It was really just a conversation that now doesn't have to be had anymore because the Blues did get, I think, a pretty good return for him. A couple players, one that's been in the league for a little bit, a young 19-year-old from Sweden, and then a draft pick. That's about as good as you can hope for in a position that the Blues are in. But then also, Brendan Sorsby getting shut out of the NFL, for now at least. No supplemental draft.
I'm going to need to spend even more time with you guys tomorrow on this because I think this guy needs to fire his lawyer.
Yes.
If your plan is to just legal challenge your way into something when everybody seems to be telling you the same thing, is it possible that you're getting some bad advice and that you should reconsider your course a little bit? The NFL is telling him what the issue is. Like, hey, we noticed you didn't really take accountability and your plan has just been kind of legal challenge your way through all this. Don't sue the NFL, Brendan Sorsby. You may end up with a $750 million settlement, but I've only seen that once. So I don't know. Now, St. Louis pulled it off.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do it.
I don't know if he's as powerful as St. Louis.
And let's say you win. Let's say that a legal ruling is like, yeah, they need to let you in. You have essentially carved out a path for yourself that the first moment the NFL has the chance to rid themselves of you, they will do that. Brendan Sorsby needs to think very carefully about his next step because the reputation as this guy that just doesn't want to be accountable for the very, very blatant rules that he broke, all respect to mental health. I do not care, and neither does the NFL, when you start invoking gambling on games that you were a participant, even if you didn't play, you're on the team. Like, what Brendan Sorsby needs to do is mind his P's and Q's, ask the NFL, what is the list of things that I need to do to monitor my behavior prior to the 2027 draft to be considered eligible and to not be suspended by the league after I am drafted? Like, this guy is going about it the entire wrong way, and he could, with his next step, honestly prevent any chance he really has to succeed in the league. Like, if he makes the wrong move, that's a possibility here.
Yeah. He could also save a lot on lawyer fees just by dropping the lawyer and just,
he owes $1 million already.
Work out for 8 months and then, be sure to be ready for when the draft comes around the next time.
I promise to yell about that more tomorrow, but I got to start writing about the Cardinals lineup, I think.
That's all right. Yeah. Lineup's out. Updated lineup. No Mason Wynn in there. We'll be watching to see what happens as the Cardinals get set to take on the Diamondbacks tonight. Brendan, thanks for hopping on from Bush, and take care with all that.
Thanks, guys. Have a good show.
You bet. It is 5:25 on the Big Show, KTG. Yeah, like you don't have to keep paying the lawyer fees. You don't have to make bill. You have a way to defeat the billable hours. It may seem right now in today's age of sports that billable hours are undefeated. You have a way to defeat the billable hours.
The same amount of success for less money spent.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no point.
Yeah. Anyway. Yes, we will talk more about that tomorrow. 875-5847 if you want to get your thoughts in now. Speaking of billable hours, They will remain undefeated when this age-based eligibility model gets phased through by the NCAA. We'll get to that next.
The Big Show with Andy and Brendan continues next on your total sports station, KTGR.
St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Over the years, it has meant the Gas House Gang, Stan the Man, Lou Brock, Bob Gibson, The Wizard, Big Mac, Yachty, Waino, and Pujols. All those names, and they provided so many memories. St. Louis Cardinals baseball, most importantly, has meant championship baseball. We'll be describing every play right here on the Cardinals Radio Network, powered by Gray Bar.
Mid-Missouri's total sports station, KTGR.
Hi, everyone. Andy Humphrey here for Advanced Tree Solutions. I highly recommend that you check out Eric and his team over at Advanced Tree Solutions. They have come to my house before, taken out a dead tree, and made the process so simple. He is great to work with, and he will make sure that not only that you're taken care of, but that your trees are taken care of and that your yard is safe. We're into a time of year where we can see severe storms roll through pretty regularly, and if you have dead trees or dead limbs in your yard, the last thing you want is for one of those trees to land on your home and cause some major damage. So prevent that by letting Eric come out and check things, and he'll go above and beyond to ensure that they're safe and that you can have the peace of mind that your trees are thriving and that they'll stay strong during that next severe storm. So go to advancedtreesolutionsllc.com. Check out what Advanced Tree Solutions can do for you and give your trees the care they deserve with Advanced Tree Solutions, your tree's best friend. advancedtreesolutionsllc.com.
Spring is here, and it's time to get your lawn looking right. A healthy lawn does more than look good. It helps produce oxygen, support the environment, and keeps your home looking its best. From irrigation to full yard installs, they'll make sure your lawn is done right and looking great all season long. Lubring Irrigation has the tools and experience to get it done right. No shortcuts, no guesswork, just quality work that lasts. So call the pros at Lubring Irrigation Services. Visit luberingirrigation.com today.
The best barbecues start with the best grills. And at the American Outdoor Brands Factory Outlet in Columbia, you'll find Gorilla pellet, gas, and charcoal grills, along with outdoor kitchen options that'll make your patio everyone's favorite hangout on game day. Right now, all grills are 20% off in store, plus their scratch and dent section offers hundreds of dollars off select grills. Remember, every barbecue starts with a better grill. The American Outdoor Brands Factory Outlet is a quarter mile north of I-70 at Route C.
It's a busy life for a business owner. You're answering emails, reviewing invoices, running meetings, and hey, how's your marketing coming along? You don't have time to handle that too. So talk to our team at Fuse 32. All of our work is done in-house, which makes us a one-stop shop for your marketing. Although, we'd never say one-stop shop because that's a silly cliche. From traditional media to social and digital platforms, we bring fresh ideas and strong strategies to the table so you can focus on your business. Fuse32.com.
People sell vehicles for all kinds of reasons. Too many cars in the driveway, or maybe you need extra cash. Whatever the reason, Mockins Ford makes it simple. They'll buy your vehicle no matter what. And no, you don't have to buy one from them. Stop by anytime for a free appraisal. They'll make you an offer and cut you a check on the spot. Already got an appraisal from somewhere else? Get a second opinion from Mockins Ford. Pretty painless, which is nice, because selling a car online can get weird in a hurry. Get more with Mockins Ford. Start today at MockinsFord.com. MockinsFord.com.
Window panes. You tell your kids to go practice outside. Next thing you know, a baseball comes right back through the window.
Uh-oh.
Now there's glass everywhere, and your kids swear it wasn't his fault. This is Silas Kuntz with Kuntz Glass. Whether it's broken windows, foggy glass, patio doors, or window repairs, Kuntz Glass and our 15 service trucks are ready for life's little window panes. Visit us at KuntzGlass.com.
Kuntz Glass, and you can see through it, we do it.
250 years of American history. No letter grades, no final, just fun. Take our red, white, and blue quiz now at ktgr.com and test your American history knowledge. Thanks to Absolute Roofing. If it's Mizzou sports, it's happening here. Now, back to the Big Show on KTGR.
I swear, I don't know if it needs to delve into this, but today could just be a whole under the bus show. There is just stuff happening in the sports world today that is making me fume. Latest one that I just saw looks like Rafael Devers is saying, "Oh, that whole thing of me complaining about being pinch run for the other night. Yeah, that was just you guys, the media, blowing it out of proportion, taking it out next to everything. That's a reflection
Is he
of
gaslighting us?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's
I have eyes. I know what I saw.
like, come on,
Under the
it's
bus.
just like how is that the go-to defense?
The media told me to be a pouty little baby as I was.
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going
to be slow.
I'm going to give them a line that gets them to do it again. Oh, you complaining about me saying that you guys were taking it out of context? Yeah, you took that quote out of context.
Hey,
that's why I don't talk to you guys.
But we don't have to take out of the context the fact that he is statistically one of the slowest dudes in the MLB.
Yeah, and they
should be pinch run for.
Down a run in the ninth inning with nobody out. It's the textbook time to pinch run for Rafael Devers. You would think that he understands that, but no, he doesn't.
No,
doesn't. It's even too. It would be too respectful to him to call him the Cristiano Ronaldo of baseball, right?
No, because that would require for him to be more successful.
He's never really been that good.
No.
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, we're just
he's got us. He's got us. He baited us.
We already did it yesterday. We honked the horn on him yesterday because of the whole deal from Sunday, and now
we go again.
Reason to just do it again.
Boss.
Like just therapy at this point. That's what.
Yeah, no, it feels good. It feels good.
Yeah. 875 KTGR if you want to call or text us to give your thoughts on the world, the things that grind your gears in sport. I assume you probably will start feeling that way about the NCAA's new eligibility model. But honestly, this is common sense. On paper, this makes so much sense, Gabby.
Yeah,
it should be this way.
We should not have people playing college football who are my age. And that's become a problem where I used to get frightened when I saw college football players who were my age. I got to college. I'm like, wow, it's crazy how all these people are my age. Now I'm like, I'm approaching 30 and I'm like, wow, it's crazy how all these college football players are my age.
You're supposed to say, yeah, I was told to leave school. Why were you not told to leave?
I had to get out of there. I mean, unlike these guys, I was not paid to be there, so I had to get out of Dodge before Sally Mae owned my firstborn child. But Here we are. This is what happens when you don't have to go into debt for school. You just keep going and going. And you're like, I will play football forever. I'll be what was that Chad Powers, that Eli Manning character?
Oh, have you seen that? Have you seen that series?
I haven't watched the series yet. I should, because it's Glenn Powell. But that's what it feels like. These old dudes are just playing college football. I'm like, oh my God, you can't even go to parties without being creepy. What are you doing? Stop it.
And look, the problem is it is a common sense ruling that is going to be very hard to implement because college sports is nothing but common sense at this point. It's just a massive Wild West, everything like that. Look, it's very simple. If you haven't read up on it, NCAA's trying to put the cylinder down on college players and their eligibility standards as much as possible. They are giving them 5 years. You get, if you are healthy for that whole time, you can now play 5 years in college. That's allowed now. So if that's something that you're able to do, the NCAA is just letting you do that within their bylaws now. It will be 5 years to play 5 years. But again, that's all the time you have. There are no more red shirts. There are no more injury exceptions. There are very few exceptions. One of them is pregnancy, and that's understandable. Military service, things like that. But it is a very short list of exceptions that the NCAA will give you to essentially not play for a year and then get that year back. Bottom line, for the most part, if you lose a year, even if it's due to injury, you're not getting it back. And you either have the clock start on 5 years when you enroll in college or after your 19th birthday. So anybody older than 24, no, sorry, you can't play. So that makes sense. Like, it all makes sense, Gabby. Like, that's how it should be.
That part is fine. That's cool.
Try, you know?
Yeah, I also think it's just good for college football players to not be able to call their teammates unk, you know? Like,
it should be as a tongue-in-cheek type of thing, because maybe they've been there for 3 years and they haven't transferred 3 times, and so they're like, all that. But no, like that's the way it should be. But the problem is, this is going to be grandfathered in for some players. And so, like, if you're an athlete now, like, let's say you're a sophomore, you basically follow the model, either the old one or this new age-based one that is most beneficial to you. So if the new age-based model gives you more years, then you're going to follow that. You get to follow that. But let's say it was someone who theoretically was 22 and was still on sophomore year because they had like 3 they redshirted and then torn ACL 1 year, torn Achilles the next, and now they're 22 and they still have only used up 1 year of eligibility. Well, technically, I think under this ruling, with the way it's being grandfathered in, they would still have 3 years of eligibility, even though they would be 2 years away from turning 24 years old.
And this hypothetical leg would be dust.
Right,
But
I have no clue. But there's probably a situation out there to where
there's totally a lineman out there who's in this exact situation right now.
Yeah. But here's also the problem. The NCAA says if you exhausted your eligibility this year, like let's say you just played 4 years and now you're done with eligibility, you don't get a 5th one because you have exhausted your eligibility. And that is where the billable hours are going to come in and swoop in and be undefeated still, because there are already reports out there of at least 50 players in like 5 different states that are planning to sue.
Class action.
They were the class of 2022. Like they were freshmen coming into the fall of 2022. They played 4 years. They exhausted their eligibility, but now they're not getting the 5th year because they have exhausted it, and the NCAA didn't implement this in time. And so now they're going to sue to get the 5th year. And we're still going to be doing this. Still.
Good for the lawyers.
Yeah.
Congratulations, lawyers. You've done it. You got it. It is interesting to think about the implications, like, otherwise for this new system. Like, for player development in football specifically is what I'm thinking about, because I'm thinking like linemen, certain defensive positions, quarterbacks who usually redshirt for developmental purposes. Like, I guess now they just kind of have to go.
They gotta.
So what does that mean for like quarterbacks transferring? You know, they can't just kind of sit.
No, you
anymore.
have to.
You have to.
Give yourself a chance. And
I guess some of these players are going to have to get actual on the field playing time for development.
Yeah, that's why I think this rule would need to go hand in hand with, like, if the NCAA wants to do a one-time transfer thing and go back to that, then that probably needs to be looped in with this.
Yeah.
You know, the 5-and-5 thing. Because, if you're going to recruit a 4-star quarterback to come to your school, and you can't sell to them, we're going to redshirt you and we're going to give you a chance to develop and all that.
The classic Mizzou situation.
And theoretically, they're not necessarily losing time, because in the old world, you would have a redshirt year and then you'd still have 4 years, and they would still have 4 years after this. And that's still plenty of time to build up. So in a way, they might still do that. But it all is incumbent upon again, the relationship with the coach. Can you sell them on the fact that, hey, if you take this year and you sit behind whoever we're planning to be the starter and you soak it all in and then you get ready to compete the very next year, then it's going to work for you the exact same way as it would have under the other eligibility model. But yeah, that all comes down to now the decision that the kid now has to make, because again, you have to bake in the fact that, hey, I'm not going to get an extra year back if I get hurt. And I don't play competitive football for a couple of years and then I come out on the field for the very first time and I get hurt. Well, I'm not getting that year back. So that does have to come into consideration also. And it is interesting, to think about in Mizzou's purposes, particularly from the basketball angle, this means Trent Pierce has 2 years left now. He was going into his senior year, and that would have been his last year. But under this, that would mean he now has 2 years left, and everybody else has an extra year behind him that is coming back for Mizzou. So, I mean, there are interesting ways that it can be beneficial for Mizzou, for players that maybe are valuable to them but aren't quite getting that pro chatter, if you will, either from the NFL draft or the NBA draft or things like that. I'm actually thinking of a Jamal Roberts, who I believe is senior this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Go back and look and see. So if he decides, but again, if Jamal Roberts pops off, he's just gonna probably an NFL player, but we'll see.
No supplemental draft needed.
No, not at all. For a guy like him. But that is an interesting part of this, players who have built up their standing within their team, or maybe transferred this year thinking, hey, this is my last shot to go and impress for a different college. This will be my last year of eligibility. Well, now all of a sudden in some of those situations, maybe it isn't. Maybe you get that extra year and then a team can decide to maybe use you for another year if they, of course, can keep you around. But
does this mean it's now harder for professional basketball players to decide they want to go back to school?
Maybe. For Mark Mitchell, again, he's not eligible to come back. He's in the bucket.
I'm thinking of LSU. Who is that kid? Not a kid. He's 25.
RJ Lewis, right?
Yeah. No. Yam Madar.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah, that will have to be addressed because he's 25, and I don't know how much eligibility he already had because he technically wasn't even a college player. He came back.
No, he never. Okay, I'm looking.
Will Wade's doing some stuff over there. I tell you, it is really slimy.
I hate that guy.
Really.
Yeah. So. This would make it harder for a lot of European players to just be you know what, college in America. Yeah.
Yeah. They would have to make that decision. If maybe they could think, oh, well, I can wait until I'm 20 or 21. No, once you turn 19, your clock theoretically would start. So you've got
my cousin Vinny style, slamming the foot on the balcony.
So anyway, this is a common sense model. But man, it's going to be rocky getting.
It's going to be a pain for the next couple of years.
Well, just as much of a pain as the COVID years were. Everybody gets an extra year, and so it took 5 years basically to get through the point where everyone's exhausted their COVID year, and everyone.
But then we got medical eligibility and all that stuff mixed with the other things, and that's how you end up having people my age playing football still.
Hopefully those days are behind us, but we won't hold our breath too much. 875-KTGR to call or text us. We've got a live local sports center coming up on the backside of this break. You'll be taking the Cardinals coverage if you're listening on radio. If you want to hear the rest of our show, tune in on the KTGR app and at KTGR.com where we talk whether Giannis can actually be the focal point for a championship Miami Heat team. And Gabby just wanted to hide behind her camera and just not exist after that tease. That's next.
Now, your local sports center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon. I'm Andy Humphrey. This sports center update is with Lee's Tire Company. If it's round and rubber, Lee's sells it. Go to leestirecompany.com. The Blues make a big trade sending away Jordan Kyrou to the Washington Capitals today. In exchange, the Blues receive veteran Connor McMichael and 19-year-old native of Sweden, Milton Gastron from the Washington Capitals, as well as their 16th overall selection in this year's NHL draft, which means the Blues now have 4 picks in the first round of the draft. That'll begin this Friday. The Blues drafted Kyrou in the 2016 draft, and in 8 NHL seasons, he totaled 378 points for the Blues. Cardinals scratch Mason Wynn from their lineup tonight. He's dealing with a thumb issue as the Cardinals get set to take on the Diamondbacks. They beat them 3-2 yesterday to start the 4-game set. It's Kyle Leahy on the hill tonight. First pitch at 6:45. Coverage begins in a few minutes on KTGR. And the Royals, after winning 2-1 yesterday, will try to get a second win against the Tampa Bay Rays. First pitch happened just a few minutes ago as the Royals look to get to 12 games under 500. Your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast is with Shangri-La Dispensaries, with 2 locations in Columbia and 1 in Jeff City. Shangri-La Dispensaries is paradise found. ShangriLaDispensaries.com.
I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner. I'm tracking a partly cloudy evening as we see more mild temperatures in the low to mid 60s. We'll see partly cloudy skies tomorrow and a chance for some scattered showers and storms, especially along and south of I-70. We'll see highs in the lower 80s. Widespread rain and storms return on Thursday into Friday. I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
To celebrate America's 250th anniversary, we want to hear from you.
Jeremy Bexton, Daniel Boone, Little League coach. American to me means freedom and safety. I wake up every day with being able to do what I want, when I want, and I know that that freedom is not given to us without a cost. I know a lot of veterans, a lot of active duty and retired, and I don't take that for granted. It means a lot to me.
Voices of Freedom on KTGR. Thanks in part to Mockins Ford. Learn more at ktgr.com.
It was 9 a.m. on a Monday when the phone rang. Brian Ware Plumbing and Restoration answered the call. It was a homeowner with a sewer line issue and a backyard he adored. But Brian's team does non-invasive sewer repair using state-of-the-art tech, including UV light curing resin. Suddenly, it's not a plumbing job. It's CSI Boone County. Sunglasses and David Caruso not included. Better call Brian and unplug your plumbing problems. BrianWarePlumbing.com.
From the trainers to the coaches, the equipment managers to the players and fans, it takes a whole team to be truly successful. Hi, this is Sophie Cunningham, and if you're looking for the best team of jewelers in Columbia, it's Betts. Their staff has years of experience handcrafting jewelry, and when you combine that with the newest technology, it gives Betts Jewelers the ability to truly wow their customers. So talk to the team at your hometown jeweler today. Betts Jewelers in downtown Columbia.
These beautiful moments begin at Betts. Begin at Betts.
Hey, construction dude, congrats on the killer contract in Cape. Sweet. So, how are you going to get that Mongo crane down to the job site? Here's a haul of an idea. Just Google I-70 Towing. They're Mid-Missouri's go-to crew for heavy equipment hauling, too. Semis, dozers, RVs, goosenecks, farm and construction stuff, school buses, boats, bring it. If you use it, they can move it. Call the team they think you'll really love to meet. I70towing.com. Goosenecks. Give me some long necks.
My name is Taylor, and I have had insurance with Phyllis Nichols and her team for over 9 years. One of our early claims we had to make, unfortunately, was from a hailstorm. And as soon as that first hail hit our house, I texted Phyllis and I said, oh boy, we're in trouble. Phyllis walked us through everything, made everything very seamless. Phyllis made it so easy. Her team followed up, checked in, and really went to bat for us. When things weren't moving properly, she would make sure that everything was accounted for, and she really just did an above and beyond job for us and everyone we referred her to.
This August 4th and 5th, join former Missouri Tiger football players Drell Jackson and myself, Michael Agnew, at our API football camp. We're not just building football skills, we're building leaders. Over 3 days, we'll dive into deep technique, strategy, and leadership development. You'll work side by side with me and all of our coaches to bring out our best on the field and in life. Whether you're chasing that starting position or learning how to lead, this camp is for you. Spots are limited, so sign up now at apiprojectfitness.com. Let's grow your game and your leadership.
This is a list of things that suck. Fat-free cream cheese. Having to use the bathroom while stuck in traffic. When the bottom of your hard-shell taco collapses. And having to answer 36 questions before pumping your gas.
Yes. Debit card. Yes. Do I know my PIN? Would you like a car wash? It's 10 degrees out. Do I like my mother-in-law? I just want to put my gas.
But inching their way slowly to the tippy top of the suck list are ticks. Disease-carrying, hard-to-find, blood-guzzling, nasty ticks. You know what doesn't suck? Having a friend in the pest control business. Steve from Steve's Pest Control. And although he can't protect your bagel from the evils of fat-free cream cheese, he will make sure those creepy, crawly, teensy-tiny ticks are removed. Sorry, ticks. Sucks to suck.
I'm Steve with Steve's Pest Control. We're going to solve your pest problem. I guarantee it.
Now you got a friend in the pest control business. Steve's Pest Control.
Your daily fix of local sports lives here. This is The Big Show on KTGR.
Oh, man, there have been some things that I have not liked about this World Cup. Some things that grind my gears. Cristiano Ronaldo, hydration breaks, several things like that. One of the things that has not made me upset at all is John Strong. John Strong is awesome. The lead Fox play-by-play broadcaster. He's on for all of the United States games, all the high-profile games that Fox is doing throughout the tournament, but he dropped a great one. He was calling England and Ghana. England just drew with Ghana 0-0 in Boston, and John Strong. Yeah, that's not good for
not Boston.
The Three Lions. John Strong's line. England historically has struggled here in Massachusetts. So good.
Oh no! Wait, England drew with Ghana. That's
true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you, Ghana. You did it. I root against England. I love this.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
I
love it. All the countries I hate keep drawing. Spain, England.
Yeah.
So good. Wow.
Anyway, just thought we'd share that. John Strong is the best. And also, by the way, put Jack Caglione in the All-Star game. Do it. Just hit a monster. I almost broke my laptop in the studio trying to tell you that. Jack Caglione just hit a monster at the Trop.
How many feet?
I have to go back and look for sure, but it just disappeared into the catwalk. Sometimes the ball just disappears there, and this man cannot be held out by some whatever it is that the All-Star game would have against Jack Caglione. Are you a first baseman? Are you an outfielder? I don't care.
Who cares?
Put him in.
Put him where he fits.
Do it, Major League Baseball. He's not going to be voted in, but Major League Baseball can do the right thing. 875-5847 if you want to call or text us. Andy and Gabby here. Gabby in for Brendan as he's at Busch Stadium. Cardinals coverage underway on KTGR Radio. Thanks for joining us on the KTGR app and on YouTube and on Facebook. So Giannis, now a Heatle. That's what they call a single Miami Heat player, right? A Heatle. Is that what it's called? It is.
Man, they keep doing this, Miami.
Yeah.
They're like, it's been too long since we've made a blockbuster trade for someone super duper famous. Here we go.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler was so long ago.
Is that what you were thinking of?
Yeah, it was. It actually was.
Of Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, we need to shake it up again. Let's get Giannis in here. Yeah, he's the big time trade target. I remember declaring this years ago on this show after the Bucks won that title. I'm like, that's really cool. Enjoy the heck out of it. Giannis, you're at the top of the league. That city's really happy and everything. And Giannis, you should enjoy the heck out of that championship because that is the only one that you will win there. That was never going to happen again. Even if there was a bunch of people saying, well, are the Bucks all of a sudden going to build this? No,
because it's really hard to build around him is the thing.
Yeah. Especially now.
Because they've been in a half-baked rebuild for the past 2 seasons now. Mm-hmm. And without all of the – now, granted, they can now go full on rebuild with all of the stuff that
They're
they
now doing it. Like, it's a good start.
This is as good as it gets as far as these trades go. But like I was floored at the price because I'm not surprised Boston wasn't willing to match that. Sucks to be Jaylen Brown though today and to be like, they really wanted to trade me after I publicly said how much I love being here. So, kind of an unforced error on the part of Boston.
A little bit. But tighten up the old leak department. But
yeah.
Anyway,
but hey, all it took to land Giannis was the equivalent of an entire basketball team here.
Well, that's it. That's all it is.
Tyler Herro and a lot of folks with less easily pronounceable names.
Nakachunas, the guy from Illinois from a few years back.
Yeah. Let's see. 3 first-round picks, including the 13th pick tonight. And then picks in 2031 and 2033, a first-round pick swap in 2030, and a second-round pick in 2033.
Oh, that'll help the rebuild.
2033. And the Heat will get Bobby Portis. Man, Bobby Portis just keeps getting tossed around in these things. He's probably not even going to stay there. Who even knows at this point? I mean, I don't think the Bucks are going to keep all of the players that they got. Probably Herro is going to get traded somewhere that wants someone annoying, and then
Probably. But no, the Heat are not winning a championship with this. They're just doing it for the funsies.
Why not?
Let's be the talk of the town once again.
Still can't be.
No, that's a great coach. I think Eric Spoelstra's a great coach, but just build him a team, and maybe he'll win you something. Thanks for joining us today, Gabby. Thanks for coming on, of course.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, SportsWire, 9:00. Be there. And we'll see you tomorrow at 4:00. Turn on your radio to hear the Cardinals. She's Gabby. I'm Andy. We're done for now.
It was 9 a.m. on a Monday when the phone rang. Brian Ware Plumbing and Restoration answered the call.